ifordnow.com.
White will spin and feed Porzingis for the lead.
A 35-footer from Porzingis. That is his 8th made three here.
And that was the difference in overtime. Celtics, they get the win in OT, 119-117. It was like a playoff atmosphere at Madison Square Garden. You could feel the Knicks, how badly they wanted to win this game. Celtics were able to tie it late in regulation. We'll go through all those plays. Tom Giles, Ashley Battle, Eddie House with you here. But the physicality as well, just everything about it, especially late in that game, you could feel they had sort of that playoff tension too, and the Celtics able to prevail.
Oh, it absolutely was a playoff atmosphere, and you could tell the physicality. OG was just grabbing Jayson all over him, trying to make things very difficult for him. But, you know, these are the type of games you have to play through. You have to play through the physicality. You have to play through maybe getting calls, maybe not getting calls. And you got to figure it out and win. And that's what you saw tonight.
These are the type of games I love. You know, it was physical. They got physical. The rest was letting them go. Y'all see me get up out my seat. You know, we was watching.
You was ready.
Yeah, with the rest of the game, when we went to overtime, I got up out my seat. I said, let me get on my feet. Let me get out here on my feet one time. Because we ain't going to sit here and watch this on sitting down. You know what I mean? It's too physical. And I wanted to give the energy to the TV, and they gave the energy back to us and gave us that W.
Yeah, I'd like to point out, too, like this game for the Celtics, they're locked into the 2 spot, right? Yeah, here you have Jayson Tatum playing 47 minutes, hitting a shot at the end of regulation.
Big time.
Meanwhile, the Knicks are trying to prove something because now they've been swept 4-0. But how demoralizing is this for a Knicks team that essentially was giving it absolutely everything they had out here? I
mean, they played well. The Knicks played extremely well. And when you get production like that from Cat, from Brunson, you know, they're expected to win this game. And then having the lead going down the stretch, you're expected to really close out and win this game. But you leave the crack open. And the way that Jayson's been closing games last year and coming into this year, you can't leave a slither room open for him.
I'll look at it like this. I think that the Knicks will look at it as, you know, you never say there's a moral victory, but I believe that the Knicks are coming out thinking like, oh yeah, if we see them, this is how we have to play them, and, you know, we made it tough for them, and we have an opportunity to possibly beat them and move forward in the playoffs. So I think that I think that's how the Knicks are feeling. I don't think that, you know, at all. I told you 4-1, but I think that they believe, you know, with tonight and the way that they play, they like, okay, we could get physical with them like this, and, you know, they don't like physicality, and it's not that our team doesn't like physicality. It's just the fact that you could be physical, but don't be physical and be fouling, and then the calls, you don't be getting the calls. And that's what was happening tonight. I'm going to keep it real, man. The refs was weak again tonight. And I always, you know, when they good, they good. When they was bad in the fourth quarter, man, they let a lot of grabbing, a lot of tugging, and a lot of holding and all that stuff going on. But at the end of the day, we were able to play through that and still get the W. That is probably more demoralizing when they go back and look at this film than them having the opportunity to be like, oh, man,
well,
we got
I was going to say, isn't it important for the Celtics to win a game where it's physical like that, where you're playing through physicality, important for them to play through that, because you're probably going to be seeing that a lot in the playoffs.
That's exactly how it's going to be in the playoffs.
100%. You may not get the call. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and pout and complain to the refs, or are you going to do something and play through it, make shots, make tough plays, and finish the game? And that's what you saw tonight.
You know what? Let me say this. The one thing that I did like is that we got stops when we needed it. You know, when Jalen Brunson, we weren't letting him get to where he wanted to, get into his spots. He had one mid-range jumper, but besides that, KP got on him, kind of forced him to his right hand. He had to come back to his left hand to shoot. And then I want to say, was it D. White on the right wing? They had contested that shot again, and we were able to get that rebound. So I thought that we locked down when we needed to in the biggest moments, and that's a good sign as well, especially when you're not getting a whistle on the other end and it's easy to complain or easy for you to foul, but that wasn't the situation.
Let's go through the fourth quarter, because again, the Celtics actually trailing for a good portion of this game, but were able to take control in the fourth. Then the Knicks went on a 12-2 run. You saw OG Anunoby with the offensive rebound here. That actually gave the Knicks a 103-102 lead. Celtics kind of struggled with the turnovers late in this game. Derek White not connecting with Jayson Tatum on this play here. So the Knicks with the ability to take a three-point lead. Mikal Bridges knocking down the long two. So it was 105-102. Jayson Tatum made 2 of 3 free throws to make it 105-104, and that's on this play right here. So he had the foul late. He gets 2 of 3, and then coming back the other way, Jalen Brunson finding Josh Hart for the cutter for the layup. And then you had the Knicks up by 3, and Jayson Tatum with less than 3 seconds to go. The step back on OG Anunoby, who had played him so tight, especially in that fourth quarter, knocking down the 3 to tie the game and force overtime. And one last chance for New York, and it's Josh Hart who gets the call here. Cannot hit, and that's how you end up in OT, where the Knicks have been really good this year. Knicks were 6-1 in overtime going into it, but how about the Jayson Tatum play at the end there, Ashley, for him to tie this game for the Celtics, again, against Anunoby, who is one of the better defenders?
Hey, I'm a great defender, and I love defense, but sometimes offense is just better than defense, and that's what you saw right there. I mean, Jayson really took his time. He missed the free throw to tie the game, and then came back and really put him on skates. I mean, he came in, was like, skirt, 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 crossover, came back, snatched, and created enough separation to really get that shot off.
The thing is that I think Anunoby being so physical, right? So this is the evolution of Jayson Tatum and how great he is as a scorer. He knows that dude is trying to be super physical with him. So what he did was try to get to the basket. Well, I'm going to try to cut you off. And then he took the step back, sidestep, and 3. That was just to create all the space. And what he did was use Anunoby's aggressiveness against him at that particular moment. And that's what great players do. You know, you find a way, you find angles, you find space, and that's exactly what he did on that shot.
All right, so that made it, of course, 107-107. So it went to overtime. And in OT, you saw Sam Hauser getting 2 right off the bat to give the Celtics the 2-point lead. Knicks did respond, and then you had Kristaps Porzingis, who,
Yakum.
What a night for him, 8 of 13, 34 points. Season high right there for Porzingis with that 3. The Knicks trying to respond. You have Jalen Brunson missing. This is less than 20 seconds to go. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Sam Hauser. So Knicks get another possession, and, well, it doesn't really work out here. Mikal Bridges has this one just...
Doink.
Yep, doink is right, yeah.
That was
right
Drew Holiday, though. Look how
good defense, right? Might have got a deflection on there.
Yeah, he definitely got the deflection.
All right, so Holiday then would make a couple of free throws, and the Celtics able to hang on, get the win. Once again, 119-117. Jalen Brunson had a 3 late that, you know, cut it back down to 2. But again, in overtime, this just it felt. I don't know. The first quarter of this game didn't feel like a playoff game, but the later it went, the closer it got, it just had that feeling, and you could sense that from Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely. I mean, the Knicks had something to prove. You were 0-3 against the Celtics going into this game, and we talked about this in the pregame show. Can you beat them? What's the mindset going to be? Do I have confidence if we have to meet them in the playoffs? Is it possible that we can win? Yeah, you cut it to close games. The last game, you cut it to 5, and then the Celtics pulled away. And then this game, you have the lead with 5 seconds left to go, and you still force it to overtime and still lose. Like, they're probably wondering, what do we have to do to beat these guys?
You know what they proved? That they can't beat us. That's what it proved to me, is that if we are